Instagram, it's one of the most popular social networks out there. You know, we all talk about Instagram marketing tips. I've created a ton of videos on this, but is Instagram really worth it? Is it gonna drive you business? Is it gonna drive you revenue? Is it even worth you spending time on Instagram? Hey everyone, I'm Neil Patel, and today I'm gonna break down if Instagram marketing is really worth it. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this video. And if you're on YouTube, click the alert notification. That way when I go live, you'll get notified. How many of you guys are on Instagram? Let me know your user handle so that way I can check your profile out and hey, I may even follow you. But we all talk about Instagram, we all use it, I have it, my follower count is continually going up. Is it really worth it? And I wanted to create a video that would answer that question. And the reason being is, I want you guys to have realistic expectations because everyone continually asks me like, hey, how do I get more followers on Instagram? You know, how do I get to 100,000 followers? When you think about Instagram, from a B2B standpoint, and I'll cover B2C as well, in B2B, if you're expecting to generate a lot of business from it, don't. You may get more brand awareness and indirectly, yes, that can help you generate business, but you're not gonna get someone buying $10,000 products from you all day long on Instagram. I'm not saying Instagram isn't profitable. I'm not saying you can't generate sales. If you look at what I've spent on Instagram and what I've generated in revenue, I've generated hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars from revenue. Actually, it's in the millions of dollars in revenue and I haven't spent nearly as much. Now, you may look at that being like, oh, that's awesome. That means Instagram's worth it. Well, if you look at how much more revenue I've generated from SEO or paid advertising, it's way greater of a return than Instagram. You can't do everything, so you gotta focus your efforts. In B2B, I do believe, I'm not an anomaly, but it's harder to do what I'm doing and most people can't. And for that reason, you're not gonna really get too much of a ROI, but hey, it's a good place to be because there's a ton of business people. You won't see a ROI just pitching your products and services. You will see a better ROI if you just create content that other successful B2B people that want to follow, they'll get to know you and eventually some of those indirectly may turn into customers. On the B2C side, you know, I know a lot of people who pay the Kardashians money and other people like that for advertising. Here's the thing. Like I had someone the other day and they're like, yeah, I paid Kris Jenner $85,000 for a post. Now, what do you think happened with Kris Jenner when she took that money? She promoted that product, but what do you think happened to that company? They generated less than $85,000 in sales. On top of that, they have a physical good, so there's costs involved in their product. They're hoping they can make it up in the lifetime value of the customer, but still, they lost money. With influencers and Instagram, if you want to pay micro influencers, that works well as long as the pricing's right. You can go to places online, there's a lot of communities like the influence.co's where you can find them and you can find all these people who are influencers and potentially get some of them to pay you, or technically more so you pay them and they can promote your product or service. But in general, unless their prices are reasonable, it's not going to work too well. And if you only get one influencer to post, it's not going to work too well. Yes, a Kardashian's different and even that doesn't really work most of the time. You need a lot of micro influencers at once and create that big splash for it to work. And if you don't time it right and you just spread it out over a period of like 6 months, it's not as impactful versus if everyone in a 2 or 3 day period within your space started talking about you. It's just like, you know, when Facebook gets a ton of press for breaching privacy or users' passwords or whatever issues or government regulations, I don't know what press issues they're running into, and I'm not saying they are doing wrong things or right things, it's just whatever press they're in. When everyone talks about them at once in the news, they're more likely to be the trending topic. That's the same thing that happens with influencers. So if you're in the B2C space, paying influencers works if you get a lot of micro influencers, they talk about you at once. If you're in the B2B space, indirectly, yeah, you may be able to make money. If you're in the B2C space, you can also consider creating your own profile. Yes, it helps a little bit when it comes to making money, but if your profile is not popular and you're not leveraging some of the other Instagram tips, and I have a lot of videos on that, so I'm not going to regurgitate those tips on how to make your profile popular, you won't do well. But if you do make your profile popular by using those micro influencers, you're using all the stuff that I'm talking about from stories, posting frequency, micro content, all that kind of stuff, sure, yeah, from B2C it can help. But Instagram, for most people, it's not as effective as, let's say, Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube. And the biggest reason is it's hard to link people from Instagram and get them to buy. Yeah, you can do things like swipe up, you can add links in your bio, but unless you're willing to spend the money on the paid ads, it's hard to get people, based on Instagram's restriction, to just have your posts linking out to your latest product or service. And that's why it's really hard to generate an ROI from Instagram. Now, does this mean I'm gonna stop using Instagram? No, I already mentioned I make decent money from Instagram. But also another reason I use it isn't for the reason you may be thinking. I really use Instagram so I can see what my family's up to. It's a more of a personal social network for me. From that standpoint, to me, Instagram is priceless, and that's why I love it. If you need help with your social media marketing, check out my ad agency, Neil Patel Digital. If you enjoyed this video, like it, share it, tell other people about it. Thank you very much.